Welcome back to math. Today, Module 4, Lesson 21. We're working with fractions and one whole. So let's jump into this and find out what we're doing. Well, we have a third times 1 equals a third times... Here's my question. If I had a 3 here and I want to make it a 1, what would have to be on the top?
3.
It would have to be a 3, right? Because if you remember, this would be 1 whole, right? 3 over 3. Also, just a side note, what if I had 99 over 99? That would equal what? 1, right? Excellent. So whenever you have a bottom number and the top number are the same, it means 1 whole. So if you notice, I have a third here, I put it here, times 1, a third times 3 over 3. What would that equal? Well, it's like taking our, and it's like 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 3 is 9, right? If you notice, they had the 9 there already for you, so they just wanted you to put in the 3. But I wanted to show you how to do it. Notice, when we multiply a third times 1, do you notice we end up with a third? It's the same thing. You're going, what? Well, I could check it, right? I could divide this by 3, divide this by 3, and I get 1/3. So whenever we multiply a third times 1, we're going to end up with a third, even though we can make other numbers, right? Now sometimes we need to make different numbers in our fractions in order to make them into something else like decimals, which is going to be coming. So let's take a look at our next problem. When we compare the first factor to the value of the product, what do we end up with is basically what I just said. When we times something by 1, it's going to be the same thing. Even though we could make the numbers different, 3/9 is still 1/3. It's equivalent. This is an equivalent fraction. These are both equivalent fractions. Okay? Let's go to 2 down here. 3/4 times, ooh, what's that? That is 1 whole, isn't it? So I could put 1 like that. So I'm going to end up with 3/4, right? That is true. But what if I wanted to change this into a decimal? Wow, they really did the work for me, didn't they? So they multiplied it by 25. Why did they multiply it by 25? They need to get 100 on the bottom, because which place is the hundreds place? Let's call this A, let's call this B, let's call this C. Which one is 100 place?
C.
C, you're right. So let's go ahead and 3 times 25. What are 3/4? 3/4 is what? How many cents? 75 cents. So we could now put this in. I'm going to put the 5 because that's over 100, right? So that goes here, 7 goes here, and the 0 goes here because I don't have any holes, right? So 75 over 100 equals 0.75. Does that make sense? So I can now turn it into a decimal, an equivalent decimal. On this, we're multiplying a fourth. So a fourth times 25 would be what? Well, what's 1 times 25? 25, good. My pen's not working very well. And 4 times 25 is? 100. And my decimal would be what? So this is over 100, right?
0.
So the 5 would go here, and the 2 would here. And we have 0.25. Nice work. Then it's asking express each fraction as an equivalent decimal. The first one is partially done. How could we change this 2/5? I'm going to write it bigger for you. 2/5 times what fraction could we make it to make it into, we need a what on the bottom? We need 100, right? 5 times what is going to be 100? 5 times what? 20. Nice job. So what we do to the bottom, we're going to do to the top. So 2 times 20 is 40. Let's turn that into a decimal. Okay, where's our 0 going to go? It's going to go in the 100 place, right? And the 4 goes in the tenths place. So 40 hundredths equals 0.40. Okay? Go over this as many times as you need. Try some of these on your own and see if you can get them, okay? I love math.